Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and this time we've got the pleasure of watching Santhab playing in his Tier 7 Soviet light tank, the LTTB, a vehicle that has never been featured on this channel. So where do I begin? Well, this thing is a lightning fast, as we can see here. It weighs just around about 22.5 tons, and it has a whopping engine power, which gives this a fantastic specific power ratio of over 30. And that allows this thing to shift up to its top speed limit of nearly 70 kilometers an hour. So you can get into position and then start to punish tanks with the 85mm gun that this vehicle gets. This 85mm you may know from such tanks as the T-34-85. And as long as you're shooting at fairly lightly armored targets and you can deal with the 170mm of penetration this tank has, you can rip apart tanks so darn quickly. Look at this, he's been able to pick up 916 damage against this AMX CDC and the AMX 1375. Unfortunately for his team, it doesn't look like the two Tier 8 premium medium tanks fared very well in the center, and both of them have been taken out. The artillery lightly grazes Santhab, doing, well actually when I say lightly grazes, that 203 shot from I believe the M44 afterwards, that's not to be taken lightly. But Santhab definitely traded efficiently there, doing over 5 times the damage that he received from that artillery to some valuable targets, and he's starting to pressure the middle of the map. That's what you need to do. So this gun gets 170mm of penetration. With its APCR rounds, that goes up to 216. That's not too bad, but it really can start to struggle, considering this vehicle can meet Tier 10 tanks at trying to engage heavily armored targets like a T-110E5, probably frontally, maybe pretty much most of an E-75 all over the place, or an E-100 is going to be a nightmare. And let's not even begin to think about a mouse. So Santhab is now pressuring the AMX CDC that he softened up earlier, and he's using the fact that he's got an excellent rate of fire in this tank to just absolutely brutalize that Tier 8 French premium medium tank. When he saw, he's just doing some really good work there. He saw that the CDC put a shot into his Black Prince, and so he was able to put in 3 rounds into that tank without taking a single hit in return. Now this 85mm, one of the downsides about this vehicle is that it gets horrific gun depression. 3 degrees? That's absolutely terrible. That's like an unbuffed T-34-3. That's 2 degrees worse than a tank like a T-62A. Very inflexible. Santhab is now trying to engage this Tier 7 American tank, destroy the T-25-2. It's putting a couple of good rounds into the side of the turret, and the T-25-2 is trying to do what Santhab is doing, and that's basically pressuring the side. You can get some lovely shots down through the side here. If these were the enemies, Santhab could take them. When he sees the enemy try and move through this flank, he's going to be able to get shots in. Apart from that, it's quite hard to be able to engage through here because of the building. Nevertheless, as we mentioned, now the enemies are advancing. That's going to give Santhab an opportunity to sneak in a couple of shots. Now it doesn't look like Santhab has got Sixth Sense here, so that's a bit of a downside really of playing your light tanks. If you don't have Sixth Sense, it's one of the key features that I feel to start to make those educated decisions about, can I risk taking more shots? Have the enemy spotted me? Are they going to turn around and take me out? But Santhab has to make a big decision here for his team, and that's that they're down by 4 tanks. Even though he's done 2,233 damage here, it's looking really ugly for him. He's got 2 self-propelled guns and this Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger to try and deal with a huge amount of vehicles on the enemy team. So he's decided that he wants to pressure the enemy base. I guess he's figured out that even though his platoon mate is in a self-propelled gun, he's going to be unable to protect them from the whole wealth of tanks that are inbound as an IS, a Speerpanzer, a Super Pershing, and an IS-2. So instead, he's going to try and assault the enemy base and cap before his team loses. He sees the M44, but then, oh my word, there's a Borsig there. It's using the big gun. No, no, no. Oh, it goes into the tracks. That was a 50-50 whether it would have killed him. But he uses 2 amazing high explosive rounds, sets him on fire, and takes him out the game. Oh my word, those rounds were gigantic. 280 damage followed by 308 damage? What is the alpha damage on these high explosive rounds? Is it really 300? Your alpha damage goes from 180 to 300. That is awesome. I'm definitely going to have to take a few high explosive rounds with this 85mm gun on this Tier 7 Soviet light tank the next time I play it. And he completely turned around the game there. Some good work with the Borsig. They take out 3 tanks, and put his team back in with a chance to win this. Wow, really taking advantage of the lightly armored Borsig there. I bet you that Borsig is very unhappy about that. He probably thought he was in a very strong position. But now, Santhab has to deal with this Super Pershing, who is paying attention to the M44. He puts 1 round in. 2 rounds in, the Super Pershing stops to shoot at Santhab, misses, and he finishes him off. It looks indeed like he just doesn't have sixth sense, as that Super Pershing put in a pretty darn accurate shot, and then somebody who hadn't seen or shot at took a swing at him. Oh, wow, what a hit! That's really big. He finishes off the IS, and now he knows that there is just an SP1C in the cap circle. So he decides the SP1C is going to cap in a minute, but if I protect my Borsig, he's going to be able to finish off the game in 30 seconds. So he decides that he wants to attack the enemy base rather than defend against the Speerpanzer that he's probably not going to be able to spot unless he gets into close quarters combat. The M44 spots the Speerpanzer SP1C, but unfortunately the ISU-152 shuts down the Borsig on his team, and so that means that he's alone with the self-propelled gun in a 2 versus 2 situation. But Santhab is flanking him. Oh great, he's not facing this way. Don't allow him to swing that big BL-10 gun round, Santhab. Yes, lovely. The mobility of the LTTB, like an absolute mountain goat, slips up the slope and outmaneuvers that tier 8 Soviet tank destroyer. But look at the gun depression on this tank. It's terrible. Oh no, don't mess it up. Why did you ram him? Oh, Santhab, that's probably the first bad thing you've done in the game so far. You rammed him, did 0 damage to him, and because your tank is quite lightly... Oh, it's quite light in weight, but heavily armored actually frontally. This tank gets 90mm of frontal hull armor, which can be quite surprising. Considering the slant on the slope, this tank actually gets quite good effective armor. It's probably one of the heaviest armored light tanks in the game, now that the Aufklärungspanzer Panther isn't in anymore. Nevertheless, he did take out that ISU, and that was a good effort to take down another tier 8 tank. But that means that he is now a one-shot to the SP1C, who I believe gets a 90mm gun that has 240 alpha damage. How much health is the SP1C on? Santhab just has to wait, hiding behind the wreck of his fallen comrade. He's on 5 kills. This is going to be going for the top gun, as well as securing a razor-close game. And there's no doubt that without Santhab here, his team would have already lost. 4,004 damage, 5 kills in a tier 7 light tank. Fair enough, this is a very nice matchup for this vehicle, as it does get matched up like a tier 8. You can only wait now. Which way is he going to come? The left? The right? He's coming from the right. There he is. Okay, Santhab. Sudden death. He puts his first round in. Great shot. The SP1C misses. Now Santhab can thread in another shot. Great hit. Oh my word. 2 more. 2 more will do it. There it is. Oh my word. The SP1C misses. Santhab, finish him. What a result. That was absolutely awesome stuff at the end of the game, considering he would have died to a single shot from that SP1C. To be able to take him down, what an achievement. Handled that situation so well with the wreck of the Borsig, and I think the SP1C basically just panicked. I don't think he expected him to be using that wreck and to outplay him so darn hard. Oh, I always love a good light tank gameplay, and Santhab, you certainly had one here, undoubtedly carrying your team to the victory using the mobility of the LTTB and the sting in the tail of this 85mm main armament. Santhab showed off some great knowledge of key positions on this map to outplay his opponent, knowing what ammunition he needed to use to sway the engagement in his favor, as well as what appeared to be great map awareness, jumping backwards and forwards using the center to be able to defend both his base and also pressure the enemy team. So Santhab, thank you so much for uploading this replay on the QuickyBaby Replays website. I was thrilled to see this LTTB game, and I just knew I had to do a commentary on it. Let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. So what around here? This was Santhab's first mark of excellence, a high caliber medal, always a good one to pick up in a light tank, and what a high caliber too. 4,655 damage, over double what anyone else on his team was able to achieve, as well as also 2,079 spotting damage for his team. He truly did absolutely everything that he could, including 85 base capture points, and 51 base defense points. Picking up 6 kills and securing himself the top gun, he hit 27 out of 32 shots that he fired, and every single one of those penetrated the enemy tanks. We didn't really get to see too much of the armor of the LTTB here, apart from its tracks absorbing the shot from that Bore 650mm gun, and also bouncing one shot for 240 alpha damage. And Santhab even managed to make nearly 20,000 credits profit after taking away consumables and ammunition. An all-round great performance. So Santhab, once again, thank you so much for sending me this replay. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys out there did as well. If you did, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see some more Tier 7 light tank gameplay, then simply click through up here or use the more info icon in the top right hand corner of your screen for a game in the T71 by me, showing why sometimes you can teach an old dog new tricks. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the LTTB. I had to respect this tank after I saw it make such a dominant show of force in the grand finals this year. How do you guys think it competes with other tier 7 light tanks, some which have huge magazines like the Walker Bulldog? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.